The Lacey Veterans Service Hub provides a variety of services and programs to veterans and their families. Let's hear from the manager, Keith Looker, about these services and what's different during the pandemic. Well, hi there, Keith. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start talking a little bit about the Veterans Service Hub. Who can get help at the Hub, and what services does the Hub provide?
Okay, well, so I think I'll do is I'll start out with a little background. There are actually about 32,000 veterans that currently live in Thurston County. About half of those veterans are from the current Afghanistan, Iraq, Gulf War time era, and the rest of them are either from the World War II, Korea, or Vietnam. And so there's a wide gap in the different kind of services that each one of these veterans would require. So the hub actually, the city of Lacey came up with the idea that they wanted to try to build a single location where any veteran could come and get any of the services that they needed. Because previously to that time, there was about 56 different providers within Thurston County and Pierce County that provided those services. So the hope was that we just make it to one easier on the veterans by just consolidating them. So we actually opened up the hub in October of 2016. At that time, we had 5 different programs, and we had about 20 service providers that came on board to help us out. So we're open to, additionally, we're looking at any of the veterans that lived in Thurston County as our initial clientele, but we realized that that was quickly going to grow. And so actually, any former service member or their family that needs help, we provide assistance to them. So we have clients that come all the way from Vancouver and up north from Bellingham will come down here looking for assistance. So if anybody who comes in looking for help, we'll provide that kind of assistance to them.
Oh, that's great. Not just for Thurston County. Nice.
No, not just for Thurston County. So we actually have 9 programs now that we currently run. The first one is a housing program. So under that program, we provide housing for homeless veterans and their families. We also provide what they call diversion housing, which is housing where we provide assistance for families that are in housing, but they just need some kind of assistance to stay in housing. And then the last program under that is we work with veterans that are interested in purchasing new homes and getting their certificates of eligibility from the VA so they can qualify for VA home loans so they can get those kind of assets to them. The next one is employment. So we help out veterans that are either unemployed or underemployed and looking for new opportunities. So we have several different agencies that come in here through the state and local nonprofits that help out with building resumes and providing leads to local jobs, and some from the federal government that helps with federal jobs if they'd like to go that direction also. The next one we have is healthcare. So we assist veterans in getting into the VA healthcare system. If they're not eligible for the VA healthcare system, then we work to help them get into Apple Health, so that all veterans will have some kind of healthcare is our goal. We also have what we call mental health side. So we're co-located with a vet center, which is a VA counseling service for veterans that are suffering from PTSD or military sexual trauma, can get counseling there. We also work closely with the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs, who has a couple of counselors that can help out veterans and their family members. And we work with a couple local agencies, Behavioral Health Resources, South Sound Mental Health Hospital, to provide any kind of services that are needed for mental health or drug dependency, to try to get people get their lives back in order.
Okay.
So we have also have an education program. So we work with veterans that are eligible for the VA 9/11 benefits, so they can go back to school to try to get a better job. There's a program through the VA called the VOC Rehab Program, which assists veterans that have a disability to get an education and help them get back into employment. And then we also work with the state. The state has a VOC Rehab Program for disabled citizens. And so we work with those to also see if we can use that program to help out veterans and their families to get back into employment. The transportation is our next one. So we have a van that we received through Intercity Transit as a grant. We use that van to transport veterans up to the VA hospital up at American Lake. And then here currently during the crisis, because they've gone to a lot of virtual appointments, as we've been using that van to assist the bring food to the homes of individuals in the Thurston County. They weren't able to go down to the food bank to get food.
Okay.
We have a VA benefits program where we have veteran service officers that help veterans file a claim for VA benefits, appeals, or anything. So if they need like special grants for redoing their home because they're disabled and need like a wheelchair ramp or something, they help with those services. We have a financial assistance program. So we have the two parts. One is we have a financial management company that provides free financial management counseling to veterans and their families that need that. We have every county in the Washington state has a Veterans Assistance Fund. So we run the Veterans Assistance Fund for Thurston County. Their representative works down here with us, and they help to pay past due rent or bills to help keep a veteran back in the housing. And then there's also a grant through the state of Washington called the Veteran Innovation Program. And so the individuals that run that grant from the state also do those applications here. And then we work with the local churches and veteran service organizations that may have some financial assistance that's capable to help you guys pay their bills. The next one is a nutrition program. So like I said earlier, we're part of the Thurston County Food Bank, so we're one of their satellite locations. So we provide food 5 days a week here to anybody who walks through the door. That program there is not veteran oriented, so that's open to anybody who comes in and is requiring food. We'll provide that service to them. And we also were under contract through DSHS that we could do the applications for the EBT cards and TANF if they require those services also. The next one is a legal program. So we work closely with Northwest Justice Project, which is kind of a state legal assistance program for low income. And we also have an attorney that comes in and donates his time to sit down with veterans to kind of to help them with whatever those needs would be. Last thing we have, we all kind of call it the enhancement program because of course we can't always have everyone come in here into the building. So there's other programs that are outside, either their peer groups that will bring classes in from different organizations in our classroom, whether it's healthy eating or painting or yoga, things like that in there, or to outside agencies where they can do fishing or horseback riding or other therapy activities to help them with that, whatever they need. So right now we currently have over 60 providers that provide services out of the hub. Either federal, state, or from local organizations. And one of the things we always try to do is what we call a warm handoff. So one of the benefits of having everybody here is that if they require a service, if one service provider can't help them out, then all the other service providers are here. And so we can just walk them over to whoever it is that they need to talk to make sure they get the help they need.
All right.
So the majority of other than the providers we have, one of the things we try to do is keep the cost down here. So we rely a lot on the community to support us. Mm-hmm. So I have our whole front operation is all run by volunteers. So I have over 40 volunteers that come in here and help out with either running the front desk, navigating, helping the clients or the veterans find out what their needs are, making sure they get to the right providers, and driving the van for us.
Well, now that we're in phase 3, are all these services available like they used to be before the pandemic began, or are there still some limitations? Are you still doing some stuff? I would assume you were doing things virtually, or at least people have to participate online or just call you. What's it like now?
Okay, so the first thing we did, so when the shutdown order was initiated, the Safe Start initiative was started, so we reached out to the city and we decided that the services that we required here were essential. Okay. And so we never closed down our offices. Okay. We got with all the service providers and volunteers. We gave them that option for what they were comfortable with doing. A lot of them did end up going virtual and doing virtual uh, counseling or virtual
Mm-hmm.
support that was needed. And then we had some that required them to actually come in here in person. So we actually kind of did both.
Okay.
Um, so right now, so some of the big things that we noticed is that, so of course, unemployment went up when
Mm-hmm.
we went to the Safe Start. A lot of financial people started having financial hardships. And of course, when the bus system, when they closed it, a lot of people were stranded at home and weren't able to get around. So we spent a lot of time in trying to help resolve those three issues. And of course, we always had the housing or the homeless housing. So we had to work with those individuals also. Um, so right now we're pretty much, we still have a lot of them are still working virtually.
Mm-hmm.
The agencies they work for are making those decisions of when they feel that it's safe to transition back into an office setting. So right now, majority of them still are. We're kind of hoping in the next couple of months that we'll have them all here on site. But what we did have, we did have the contact information and availability for them to use our phones here or our computers if they were going to do it via video to contact these providers and either get the help they need, or if they needed to turn in paperwork or whatever, they could use our facilities here to help do that. A couple things we did. So we had a teleservice program previously where we were working with the West Care and Timberland libraries, where they had put in remote video sites so we could talk to veterans in remote locations and provide them with those services. So of course, now that the libraries were closed, that system was kind of on standby. What we ended up doing is we started to work as we were working with Stafford Creek prison. We were assisting veterans in there with their VA benefits. And so we're transitioning that teleservice over since our service officers can't go in there in person and speak with the veterans there. So now we're now doing that virtually, so we can still continue to provide those services to them.
Nice.
Another one was computers. Turned out a lot of veterans and their families were using the computers at the libraries,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they didn't have internet or computers in their home.
Mm-hmm.
And since we had computer services here, they've been coming in and either helping, either filing taxes, filing for unemployment benefits, paying their bills, or whatever they needed there. And we also were, because one of our concerns was with healthcare, with mental health, with a lot of individuals being trapped inside their homes without any interaction with the public. And so we've been working with, there's like a daily yoga class that we've been advertising so individuals can go and do yoga online with the yoga instructors. They've been a peer group. They have like coffees. We just go online through Zoom and get with a bunch of other veterans and just talk and kind of uh, relieve some of the stress of being tied up in your house all by yourself there.
Yeah, that's important.
Uh, and so that's probably so now that things are kind of going back to normal. We're looking to opening up some of our larger group meetings that we used to have here. I
Okay.
know one of the biggest we had is every month we had an organization called Vet for Music, which came in and it was like a music group that provide equipment so you could sit down in a group and play music or just kind of come in and listen and interact with other veterans. And so we're actually, that group's going to start back up on August 5th here at the Hub, which is a Wednesday. So we hold that on usually the first Wednesday of the month at 7 o'clock. So
Okay.
that we're going to bring that on board, and then we're going to try to do some of the peer groups. We used to have Alcoholics Anonymous was feeding here, and then some different peer groups for women veteran and things like that. We're going to try to get them reactivated again now that we can have individuals in larger groups that can meet.
All right. Well, is there a calendar available with all of those events that people could access over the internet, or maybe they call you? What's best?
So there's actually several ways. So we post everything that we do on our Facebook site, the
Okay.
Lacey Veteran Services Hub. So every event that we do, whether here or at just other veteran-oriented activities going on within the community, we'll post it there. They can always call us here at the Lacey Veteran Services Hub.
All right.
Our number here is 360-456-3850. And then the individuals at the front desk can help them out. And then we also post our activities. We have a website, LaceyVeteranServicesHub.org, and they could go to that site also. And we post all of our events on that website.
Okay, great. You mentioned earlier volunteers are very important for your organization. What kind of volunteer opportunities are you in need of right now? How can people find this out and join you if they'd like?
Okay. Well, so they're listed on our website, but basically we have 3 different volunteers that we have. We have the individuals who work at the front desk and greet veterans when they come in and help on the computer and answer phones. We have the second one, was what we call a navigator, and they sit down and actually speak with the veterans one-on-one, kind of determine what their problems are, and then make sure they get to the right services there within the hub here. And the third one is the drivers, and they're the ones that drive the veterans up to American Lake Hospital.
Okay, good. All right. Well, hopefully people will contact you and volunteer more. And donations, people want to give through your website, through just giving you a call. What's the best way for that?
So you could either send them in the mail or come down and hand it to them us in person.
Mm-hmm.
We always accept donations. One of the great things about the hub is that all of our overhead is covered because we're part of the city of Lacey,
Mm-hmm.
through Lacey City Funds, or the Thurston County provides some financial assistance. So all the donation money that comes in goes straight to help out veterans.
Nice.
So there is no overhead for that.
Okay, great.
And if they want it to be used for a special purpose, they can make that request when they donate the money. And we'll make sure that it's used just for what they're happy or comfortable using that money to do.
Perfect. All right. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to be on this show. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
But about the only thing one of the things that we just kind of rely on word of mouth as far as advertising for our services here.
Mm-hmm.
So with people in the community, if they know a veteran that needs help, steer them our direction, and they just can give us a call or come down and see us. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, and our doors are always open. And so if they can call us or come down and have a cup of coffee with us, and we'll see if we can help them out and give them.
All right. Well said. Thanks, Keith.
Well, thanks for having me on the show.
If you're interested in volunteering, donating, or you know a veteran that might need these services, visit LaceyVeteransHub.org or follow their Facebook page at Lacey Veterans Hub. You can also call 360-456-3850. That's all we have for you today. Tune in next time for more updates. Again, if you have any questions or suggestions for something we should cover, send an email to rkam@tcmedia.org. Stay home, stay updated with Thurston Community Media, and stay safe, Thurston County.